Welcome to Huskonomics. Today's lesson is what's special about specialty crops. But first you have to understand what's ordinary about ordinary crops. Crops like corn and soybeans, for example, the staple of the Midwest. That's what most people see of farming. Driving down the interstate through rural America, the highway lined on both sides with amber waves of grain. That's traditional agriculture in the U.S. as we've come to know it. But, and this may be shocking to you, that's not food. It's not food that you see growing out there. The corn that you see sprawling in fields all over the countryside, that's not the corn that you eat on the cob, and it's not the same corn that you buy from Husk. Those crops are part of the industrial complex. Not unlike mining for ore or drilling for oil, they're a natural resource. From the grain in those fields, we get everything from plastic bottles to fuel. Less than half of the corn harvested in the U.S. makes its way into any form of food, and over a fourth of it is exported around the globe. A global market sounds nice, but the result is a market price for corn that's as volatile as the gas prices at the pump. For reasons far too complex for a Huskonomics lesson, international trade and currency exchange create swings like you see here. Prices as high as $7.50 a bushel or as low as $4.20 a bushel, and this is just the averages over the last 2 years. That's what a farmer earns. Now, imagine this was your paycheck. We'll use an average. The average U.S. income is roughly $26 an hour. If your income was average, but it fluctuated like these grain prices do, you could show up for work one day and earn as high as $33 an hour. But you could come back the next day and get paid half as much, as low as $18 an hour. That spike wasn't because you did well, and the dock in pay wasn't because you did poorly. Maybe a monsoon hit in India, or the Fed dropped its interest rate. Who knows? But the farmer can do absolutely nothing to affect it. And that rubs some farmers the wrong way. So we decided to focus on a different market. A market focused on the local economy, not the global economy. A market governed by Huskonomics. Specialty crops aren't really special to you and me, they're the food that we buy. Sweet corn, green beans, peas, these are called special crops because they require some special attention to grow and a special market to sell, and they fetch a special price. Remember those corn prices from grain corn a moment ago? At an average price of $5.85 per bushel, that's about 10 cents per pound. But sweet corn, the corn that's actually food, not plastic bottles and ethanol, Husk pays a minimum of 40 cents for a pound of that corn, even more if it meets higher standards for us. But they're also special crops because they require a special opportunity in order to sell them. You can't just drive these crops to the grain elevator like you can corn and soybeans. It's not a field of dreams. If you plant it, they might not necessarily come. There has to be a market, a local market, for specialty crops in order for farmers to get the first penny. And that's where Husk comes in. It's Huskonomics. Husk creates a market where none existed before. And a market, by the way, is just a fancy word for you. Your grocery budget turned toward a local farmer's crop instead of a global corporation's product. That's Huskonomics.